Many from communist China. A lot of people worried that Xi Jinping is creating a little baby army here in America. Who's watching that?
Fox host Maria Bartiromo has been fear-mongering about Chinese people. During a discussion with Representative Warren Davidson on Thursday, she wanted to ask him what the government is doing to try to prevent a little Chinese baby army. Now, during her segment, she played a video from a guy claiming to have picked up passports and IDs from Chinese migrants who they kept stressing to be military-aged males. We've got all these military-aged males from, the communist China coming over here and making a little baby army. Yeah, that right there is, it's dog whistle for racist conservatives. Anytime they say military-aged males, the audience, I swear the Fox News audience has been trained to have a Pavlovian fear reaction to it, like crapping their pants, all right? And look, the problem here is it's dehumanizing language, okay? Saying military-age males, it's a dehumanization of men because you're having men reduced as a potential source of danger and violence. Oh, well, they're military-aged. That means they must be violent. It makes you think of, oh, they've got weapons, they've got guns, they're coming in, they're going to do violence. No. Look, the language also completely ignores the fact that these are people with families, hopes, dreams, desires, etc., coming in for a better life. It's pretty much comparable to reducing women to being a source of sexual gratification or birthing-aged females. Imagine that. Imagine if Fox News was going on and talking about, migrant women as being birthing-aged females. Like, come on. It's the same thing. Plays into the xenophobia, or in this case, sinophobia, which is not a new phenomenon in the United States. I mean, discrimination against Chinese people, it's kind of a long-standing American tradition, at least going back to the 1800s, okay? So Fox News literally bringing back an old school 19th century fear for the election, just in time for campaign season. Big surprise. In fact, I'm going to show you another example here of her absolutely disgusting racism. Take a look.
Well, I mean, you're on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. What is your role on the House Foreign Affairs Committee? I mean, what are we going to do at some point, turn around and say, oh, wow, we've got 1 million people, military-aged men, and now they're up in arms and they are creating discontent in America? Are we just going to say, oh, wow, look at all these Chinese military-aged men that are in the country. They're like a little baby army. Wow, we missed that. I mean, what are we doing about this?
It's honestly all straight up racist garbage. I mean, I don't know how else to describe what I just saw. All right, it like the words, I can't find words to describe it. It floors me that people can actually think like that and then spew that kind of vile racism. Look, here's the reality, right? Are Chinese migrants coming into the country? Yeah. There's a lot of asylum seekers, actually, because asylum is legal, all right? In fact, around 70% of their asylum claims are actually approved. That's really high. The average approval for asylum cases is about 42%. Okay, so now why is that? Why are Chinese people being allowed into the country? Why are their asylum claims being approved? Well, according to the Migration Policy Institute, a lot of Chinese arrivals have said that they've been seeking asylum from China because of their crackdowns on political and personal freedoms. Right? That makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of repression, surveillance, and of course, there's the usual, reasons why people want to migrate to the United States, improving their quality of life and, opportunities, job opportunities. Big part of that, wanting to make ends meet. That makes sense. In fact, one migrant that was interviewed by the Christian Science Monitor said, look, hey, in China, low-wage people feel a lot of stress. We want to relax. Makes sense, right? I mean, look, years and years ago, I remember Mitt Romney or something touring the Foxconn factory in China where they had to set up because working conditions and hours were so long on the factory floor that they had to set up suicide nets to catch low-wage workers who were jumping out the windows because of just the horrible working conditions that they have there. And so, yeah, low-wage people stressing out, feeling a lot of stress, still not even being able to make ends meet. I'd leave too, honestly, seriously. Another added that they were seeking freedom and equality. Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of places in the United States where they're not going to be able to find that, unfortunately. And now another man who renovates windows and doors for a living made this point, quote, "If it were good in China, I wouldn't have come here." And that right there, that's what a lot of migrants, that's how they feel. They're not coming here to wreck the United States. They're not coming here to spy on behalf of China. They're not an invasion coming into the country to take it over. No, they're like, things suck where I live. I want to go someplace better. And in this case, United States, better. So, I mean, there it is. And now, here's the other thing. This is the big irony, okay, about all this. Again, she's talking about, the military Ishmaels are all coming over here from China. What are we going to do about it? One of the reasons that was also cited by migrants is the incredibly restrictive lockdowns. So this is something that the Fox News audience should be able to empathize with and be like, oh my God, the lockdowns. That's why Chinese people are coming over. The lockdowns, incredibly restrictive. Now, of course, they've been lifted, but there are people that are like, I don't want that to happen again. That sucked. Not being able to go to work, not being able to leave my home, not being able to do all that, pretty much anything. Yeah, no, I don't want to have to go through that again. I would rather go to the United States, which, by the way, conservatives, remember when right-wingers were complaining all day, all night, oh my God, the lockdowns, they were so restrictive, so terrible. Compared to the Chinese government during COVID, our lockdowns were like minuscule, okay? And yet, you would think, by the way, conservatives would understand this, but in order to do that, well, they would have to possess some sort of empathy, which they don't have because these migrants are not white Christians. So that's why you have no empathy from the right and massive, copious amounts of fear. And of course, Maria Bartiromo, as well as other hosts on Fox News, well, they know the best way to appeal to their audience is to scare the living crap out of them.